The Prelude by William Wordsworth. Book 2. Our daily meals were frugal, Sabine fare, more than we wished we knew the blessing then of vigorous hunger. Hence, corporeal strength, unsapped by delicate viands. For, exclude a little weekly stipend, and we lived through 3 divisions of the quartered year in penniless poverty. But now to school. From the half-yearly holidays returned, we came with weightier purses that suffice to furnish treats more costly than the dame of the old grey stone from her scant board supplied. Hence rustic dinners on the cool green ground, or in the woods, or by a riverside, or shady fountains, while among the leaves soft airs were stirring, and the midday sun, unfelt, shone brightly round us in our joy. Nor is my aim neglected, if I tell how sometimes, in the length of those half-years, we from our funds drew largely, proud to curb and eager to spur on the galloping steed. And with the courteous innkeeper, whose stud supplied our want, we happily might employ sly subterfuge, if the adventure's bound were distant, some famed temple where of yore the Druids worshipped, or the antique walls of that large abbey where within the veil of nightshade to St. Mary's honour built, stands yet a mouldering pile with fractured arch, belfry and images and living trees, a holy scene. Along the smooth green turf our horses grazed. To more than inland peace, left by the west wind sweeping overhead from a tumultuous ocean, trees and towers in that sequestered valley may be seen, both silent and motionless alike. Such the deep shelter that is there, and such the safeguard for repose and quietness. Our steeds remounted, and the summons given, with whip and spur, we through the chauntry flew in uncouth race, and left the cross-legged knight, and the stone abbot, and that single wren which one day sang so sweetly in the nave of the old church, that, though from recent showers the earth was comfortless, and touched by faint internal breezes, sobbings of the place, and respirations from the roofless walls, the shuddering ivy dripped large drops, yet still so sweetly mid the gloom the invisible bird sang to herself, that there I could have made my dwelling place, and lived forever there to hear such music. Through the walls we flew, and down the valley, and, a circuit made in wantonness of heart, through rough and smooth we scampered homewards. O ye rocks and streams, and that still spirit, shed from evening air! Even in this joyous time I sometimes felt your presence, when, with slackened step, we breathed along the sides of the steep hills, or when, lighted by gleams of moonlight from the sea, we beat with thundering hoofs the level sand. Midway on long Winander's eastern shore, within the crescent of a pleasant bay, a tavern stood. No homely-featured house, primeval like its neighbouring cottages, but 'twas a splendid place, the door beset with chaises, grooms, and liveries, and within, decanters, glasses, and the blood-red wine. In ancient times, and ere the hall was built on the large island, had this dwelling been more worthy of a poet's love, a hut proud of its own bright fire and sycamore shade. But, though the rhymes were gone that once inscribed the threshold, and large golden characters, spread o'er the spangled signboard, had dislodged the old lion and usurped his place, in slight and mockery of the rustic painter's hand, yet, to this hour, the spot to me is dear with all its foolish pomp. The garden lay upon a slope surmounted by a plain of a small bowling green. Beneath us stood a grove with gleams of water through the trees and over the treetops. Nor did we want refreshment, strawberries and mellow cream. There, while through half an afternoon we played on the smooth platform, whether skill prevailed or happy blunder triumphed, bursts of glee made all the mountains ring. But ere nightfall, when in our pinnace we returned at leisure over the shadowy lake, and to the beach of some small island steered our course with one, the minstrel of the troop, and left him there, and rode off gently, while he blew his flute alone upon the rock. Oh, then, the calm and dead still water lay upon my mind, even with a weight of pleasure, and the sky, never before so beautiful, sank down into my heart and held me like a dream. Thus were my sympathies enlarged, and thus daily the common range of visible things grew dear to me. Already I began to love the sun. A boy I loved the sun, not as I since have loved him, as a pledge and surety of our earthly life, a light which we behold and feel we are alive, nor for his bounty to so many worlds, but for this cause, that I had seen him lay his beauty on the morning hills, had seen the western mountains touch his setting orb in many a thoughtless hour, when, from excess of happiness, my blood appeared to flow for its own pleasure, and I breathed with joy. And, from like feelings, humble though intense, to patriotic and domestic love, analogous, the moon to me was dear, for I could dream away my purposes, standing to gaze upon her while she hung midway between the hills, as if she knew no other region, but belonged to thee, ye, appertained by a peculiar right, to thee and thy grey huts, thou one dear vale.